here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's that time, every day of the week, 7 days a week, it's LinkedIn Live, Hour of Empower. The word of the day is advocate because I know that Jody works with uh, legal elements as well as financial elements. So proud and honored to have Mike and Jody with us. I advocate starting the word, reaching out to see who they are and make connections here, get some quality takeaways. That's what we're here for. As relevant as we can be is based on really your direction. What do you need to know? What's important to you? And we rather be responsive in that sense. So with that said, Mike, why don't you give us a little update? Mike's done a phenomenal job with the Hounds, and I'm always promoting the group and Mike and everybody in it. And everybody in that group is more than welcome to visit here and appear. So
Oh
it's an
yeah.
open invitation. You're already pre-qualified. So, Mike, what do you got to say?
Sweet. Hey, first of all, you're a great advocate in front of the Hounds, man. So we appreciate you. You're a good guy. And from day one, I heard you. I think I heard one sentence you said, the very first sentence, that if you really want to blow it up and make friends and do business on LinkedIn, be prepared to spend hours practicing, comments and reciprocity and doing it the right way, man. And I was like, okay, so it's not just me. Someone else shares this mindset when it comes to networking. So, man, it's been a ball. I'm excited, man. I appreciate you. And the new thing about the Hounds, I mean, and it's not me. It's because of folks like you and Jody and Raquel and all the people that make this thing special. People are doing business, but we're doing it in our way, friendly way. We're forging real relationships. So I've had so many people reach out to me and members of the pack that we're doing a group, all right, a group kind of town hall. What is the pack? How do you get involved kind of thing? And that'll be Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So the events are coming out. You'll probably see it spread across the LinkedIn land from the Hounds and fellow Hounds. Feel free to reach out. There's nothing to buy here. Okay. So, there's nothing to be, no stranger danger attached to this. Just go out and have fun, make some friends, get to know us. And if we're a good win-win fit, heck yeah, man. And this topic of advocacy, that is the main primary foundation, that and reciprocity that goes with the Hounds. So I am super excited for this, the opportunity, man. We appreciate you, Donald.
Well, we're here. It's very mutual, and I love ratcheting it up together. With that, so honored to introduce Jody. For those who don't know her, for those who do know her, no introduction is necessary. She's just a really high integrity, quality individual, and I believe everything we're doing has been built on a foundation of trust, right? And when you have trust, you can believe your communication. So, with that, Jody, introduce yourself and would love to hear what your thoughts initially are on being an advocate because that's where we measure the end to where we started at the beginning. So, Jody?
I love it. Thank you so much, Donald. And thank you, Michael, for all of your support. I met Mike Asherbranner on LinkedIn, it was back in September or October last year. And I had been struggling for months on LinkedIn, just trying to figure out on my own. And that whole just get to know people, spend hours working with LinkedIn, trying to connect with people. Less advocating for yourself and more advocating about supporting other people. So that was the start of my transformation on LinkedIn. And with his coaching and his guidance have really made an impact and really changed my trajectory in efforts on LinkedIn. But advocacy to me, it focuses on myself and my family and my clients and the people that I serve. For my children, I want to make sure that I'm giving them the best opportunities, that I'm standing up and advocating for the opportunities that they have available to them, and they may not even know, but to whether it be the school districts that we choose, the activities that they engage in, the opportunities at summer camp. My youngest is at art camp right now, so those opportunities to grow and be in a supportive environment. For myself, I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate to making sure that for my own physical well-being, I stand up for myself. 2 years ago, I was calling my surgeon saying, I need an MRI today. I need to get into the appointment to see you today. Something is not right. And they hem-hawed about it long enough. And I'm like, this is not an option. I don't care if insurance pays for it or not. This is going to happen. And I was then immediately rushed into surgery afterwards. We have to be advocates for ourselves, because nobody knows better than what we're going through than ourselves. And sure enough, I needed immediate surgery. I had developed a reherniation in my disc less than 2 weeks after a surgery, and the result had resulted in drop foot and residual nerve damage that I'm still dealing with 2 years later. But advocacy is also important to my clients and anyone that I work with, to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to help them make educated decisions, have options available, and choose what's in their best interest. Just like my children, I want them to grow and be nurtured and have opportunities that may otherwise never have been known, if not for the opportunity to share that information with them. So
Well,
that's my little spin on it.
well, I think it's a great start. It got me really deep into it, and it created a lot of thoughts in my mind. Is there's one thing to be an advocate for yourself, but it's another thing to be part of an advocate group with you, right? When you
Right.
got other people pulling the lever in your favor, and sharing things. And that's where, like, a lot of these people assist people in jobs, right? They gather who's looking, post it. And it leads us right to LinkedIn, because it's a voice most people haven't had in a long time, if it ever. It's a way to advocate yourself in a way that amplifies through others and with others. And that's, I think, the key to advocacy, is getting heard, getting believed, and getting action coming back from what you put out there. And I think there's too many people who have already got the key to the lock that's holding them back, and all they got to do is put it in and turn it. There's so many people who, I always say, you're posting what you think is important and relevant to people in your network. Well, not every day do you have something that's that important or relevant, but you know of other people who do. So a shared post is a post that you put out there. And it also comes back to you in two ways. First of all, anybody who receives what you think was valuable values you for turning them on. More importantly, or as importantly, the person who wrote it says, hey, Mike decided to post mine today instead of his, because at the end of the day, it's the product someone receives, not the messenger, right? You just got to be the conduit. You don't want to be the one that builds a dam, instead of a highway. So with that, can't be remiss. I'm so impressed with the audience, so excited. Without you, there's no us. Since the dogs are getting sticks from me, okay. Carrie's always got a comment. We've got a resident poet here too. Natalie, who's been on probably last couple of weeks, a couple times. Just an unbelievable lady. Another person to go out and reach and connect with if it's aligned. Hello, shining people. Mike and Jody. Jeff's here. Jeff's been here about every day in the last week. Morning, everyone. Kelly, who's just unbelievable, been an anchor here for about 7 months. Shows up every Thursday and helps out in so many ways. Kelly is definitely an advocate for so many people in so many ways. Ashif is here, comes up with some of the most interesting quotes. Linda's here. Linda's a lovely lady, has a wealth of experience, and we're so grateful for your ability to share it. Rohith is here. Yesterday's episode I missed, so I'm here early today. Great. Steven's here. Steven's going to be coming on the show one of these days. I saw him.
Oh, yeah.
Was on Zoomanity. Yeah. It was, well, yesterday was Omar's show with Matt, and they had Harvey Tuck on, and also Leslie Flowers, who just ended her show about 20 minutes ago in audio. And so many people are popping up. Kelly's got a show, the Awesome Journey with Christy Hunter, at Tuesdays, 1:11 p.m. Eastern Time. Check it out. there's never enough knowledge. And you know what I believe? Nobody owns or is with anybody, right? Everybody's somebody, and everybody should have equal passage and transit to everywhere, because it's always another perspective. And I think that's the word of the day that's so important is, you start out with what you think, and then you learn what other people think, and then everybody thinks a little bit differently. And if you can
Right.
diagnose a word, maybe you can work a sentence. And after a while, it's patience, it's tolerance, it's buying some more vowels before you have to solve the puzzle, and coming to better understandings. Raquel's here. Raquel's just amazing. I mean, I just love Raquel. She's been on the show. She's always got an open invitation to come back.
Talk about advocates. Gee whiz. Do you think I dropped her $1 million? Gee, I mean, man, how blessed
Well,
am I?
in some ways, what people provide is bigger than money can buy.
Yeah.
Because I used to always tell anybody who worked with me or for me, it's all who you become here, not what you make here. Right. And that's what you're going to take with you that's going to serve you, because money can come and go. Stephen, let's see if we got something a little bit meter. Harvey's here. Harvey's just the greatest, a wannabe 007.
Dude.
Hey, three of my favorites here, the legends that are Don, Mike, Jody. Really looking forward to this one while you're here. Janice is here. I tag her every day. Another wonderful lady. Good morning, Jody. Natalie. Oh, and it's really cool when everybody knows everybody, so you don't have to be the person, right? You don't have to be the person, the main attraction. I'd rather be part of the ensemble. Natalie says, as it comes up, I'm so excited to see these two on the panel. I value their friendship, guidance, and everything they bring to the LinkedIn community. If I came to LinkedIn with nothing today, and I just connected with everybody who's going to comment on this show, you would have distilled probably the best of my 37,000 connections in about 10 minutes, and I think that's so valuable, because a new way of doing things is working with people who want to go to work, not the people who have gone to work, don't know how to get busy. And that's the first thing I look at on somebody's profiles. What are they doing every day here? Right? If they're not active, if the flag's not up, find somebody who is. Air Haran is here. Let me see. Okay. We covered that. With that said, now we've got a platform to work from. What's your thoughts?
Oh wow. Well, first of all, and I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to make this not sound arrogant as hell. But when you mentioned Kelly, right? So and it's funny because a couple hounds had mentioned Kelly, and I've seen her around. And it's because I have a lot of things to do, and because you're always running and trying to push other people up and lead your community. So I rely heavily on leaders and members in the hounds to bring us forward. So he's gone, but he'll be back. It's like the Wizard of Oz right here. All right, so somebody go pull that curtain back. But the fun part is that I've heard Kelly's name come up, and that's all it takes, guys. If I hear someone say, "Hey, you need to check out so and so," I check you out. I want to, and that's why we're doing the group thing, so I don't have to be one-on-one, right? So I think advocacy came from reciprocity when it came to the foundation and the growth of the hounds community here on LinkedIn. And it's not just on LinkedIn, it's come off LinkedIn, right? Jody and I, Sia and Raquel, we all came together in April, working on your project and Jody's World and all these things. And man, it was fun. So again, reciprocity, that's where me and Donald Cohen really coincide. And that's where, Jody and Raquel and Janice and Susanna, all these folks, it's not that we're keeping score. It's that we understand and know for a fact that good people reciprocate. In fact, I would argue they can't help but to reciprocate. And when they have an opportunity, they're going to capitalize on it. They're not selfish people, right? They believe in win-win, so they are looking to benefit, because if they don't benefit monetarily, if they don't benefit somehow in resources, how are they supposed to pay it forward, right? We're people in a material world. So I think the perspective, the mindset of, hey, I'm going to sort through, do nice things for people, test them out, see what the hell happens. And then you do that long enough with the right people, it spreads like wildfire, Donald. So that's how not only the hounds, but it's how you came here. It's how the people have shown up and grown. And I'd like to know your thoughts, because you have a lot of advocates. I've noticed now the stuff that I did a year ago or over a year ago, it's like taking a little match in a pile of brush. The results are like 20 miles down the road. Like, I'm seeing things that, wow, this humongous beneficial project or whatever. I started that 8 months ago on accident. Like, man, that's what. And here's the fun part. How do they reciprocate? They sing our praises all over the place. Like, you see Raquel and Nicole and all these top people. Harvey's a new hound. This guy, I mean, made me smile ear to ear. Just gave us, praise and shared his story about. I had no idea. So the Redneck Camelot, man, that's what I've kind of, affectionately referred to the house. That's what it's about, man. We're trying to make money, do serious things, but we want to build that on a foundation of relationships, which absolutely 2 of those pillars have to be advocacy and reciprocity. That's it, because not everybody wants to do that, and that's okay. Hey, eagles and penguins. It don't mean a penguin or eagle's better than the other. It just means I don't have anything common with a flightless bird living in the Arctic, man. So, what's your thoughts?
You crack me up all the time.
The question to me, Mike?
The Redneck, it's your show. I forget that shit.
No, sure, because I was wondering. I got taken off of my show for about a minute there. But I couldn't agree with you more, because I've been very experienced in catching some major waves in my career. I was on eBay when they first started. I was on Amazon. I was on Walmart. I was one of the first 6 companies to be invited on Walmart. For the first 2 years, it was a closed marketplace only to our 6 companies. And I saw LinkedIn as this is a huge opportunity, because unlike selling product, you can't commoditize people as well. The second thing is that you're not trying to take business away from something that's already there. This is a new platform, especially LinkedIn Live. And I make that distinction between the mob that's on LinkedIn, where people are screaming louder, angrier, and to get a safe spot out in the sun somewhere where you can bring 40, 50 people together. And now it's not so much mindset. I think we've all established how attitude and knowledge share can be so valuable to it. But who wants to go to work now with this? Right? If you're excited, if you can learn skill set, and I think that's really deficient. There's so many people that don't know best practices, don't know protocol, and it doesn't take much. It's this instead of that, and it usually takes less time. So that's one thing I'm working on, is getting more into training what we're doing, because what I realized is that this is a runway. This is not an airport for people to stay. This is, you get on a show like this, you learn how to do this, you get your own show, and that's the way it should be. And everybody starts learning from each other at higher levels of accomplishment, and really to take this to the next step. I'd like to turn it over to Jody. And how does this all apply to your vision going forward and initiatives, Jody?
My employer told me to go on LinkedIn and be on LinkedIn. And to your point earlier, we don't know the rules. We don't know what the protocols are. We don't know manners. We don't know what the things to do and not do are. And so many of us start out not knowing where to start. And so we start with maybe just liking comments, and then commenting on other people's posts, and then sharing other people's posts, and then building your own posts. But then, the manners and all that in between is as you learn, you pick it up. So I think the idea of an etiquette course in LinkedIn is helpful. Stephanie Maroney was one of those people for me who helped me initially, just talking about what's appropriate, inappropriate, what's if you're going to comment on someone's post, don't take over the thread, of course, but support them and build on it. And and then from there go. But for me, it's been stepping into an industry where we don't talk about structured settlements in social media. And I'm one of the few voices out there that have stumbled enough that I'm learning, I've started to crawl, and then I started to walk, and now I'm starting to run. But my goodness, when I start to fly, watch out, world, because that is when we're really going to make an impact. And we're getting close. We're getting close to launching some exciting new opportunities to spread that message and to continue advocating for helping people and giving options that otherwise are not available. And it sources from LinkedIn. It sources from getting people in a community that you're surrounded with people that you know, like, and trust, because they're the ones that are going to help you spread your message, because you're helping them spread their message as well. I just can't say enough good things about, the things that we see in the comment. I mean, Harvey Tuck's comment earlier about the two communities blending together for the Hounds of Empowerment. I think that that's great, because we truly do. I mean, I see all these comments in the feed, and we have such a great community of friends and people that we work with and people that we know and people that we have learned to really want to support, because we believe in them, because we know them, because we are not just selling on LinkedIn. We, as Michael has commented, are practicing our kindergarten skills. We're just being friendly. We're just having conversations, and it's not about pushing a sale or pushing a product. It is about getting to know each other, getting to understand what we do, so that we can make connections to help them grow and help other people grow. And then sky's the limit. I'm planning to fly.
I bet. And that's why I say this is like a runway. And it's so great when you can see other pilots getting their wings. And that was a word actually a week ago, and getting their plane and soaring. And you know what? It lifts everybody else up. And that's why actually tentatively starting 26, I'm going to do a 4-week training on everything I do every day and how I do it at a very, very cost-effective way. Because you know what? I always want to be part of the 50 in the audience, not one at the top with 49. And if everybody can get better, faster with proven things, what I advocate for anybody, if someone's trying to sell you something or promote something, ask them to show you how they did with it and the results. Right? If it's a program, say, let me see it and let me see how you worked it. And only because LinkedIn gives you same day results. Mm-hmm. There shouldn't be like buy it today and one day it'll come back to you in so many ways. And the other thing is, who wants to collaborate with each other? By having Zoom groups, and that's where this would go, is now you got 9 people around the table together. What do you got now to work with? Who wants to work together? So this is the next step, because just having motivated people who can't get up and do something isn't going to work. And you don't want them to, you don't want somebody to love driving, but never understand what it is to drive a car and say, okay, here's keys, right? Now get in and hope for the best. And this is not a dangerous occupation, but it's the opportunity that people will not fully embrace, because their results and their happiness are not relevant in time, right? The people who get vanity numbers, the people who plant, which is making connections, then cultivate, which is having conversations, and then go back to planting and cultivating, never harvesting, right? Thinking something will happen to them or for them if they do enough and they show enough. But it's really, who do you want to get to know well, who you can work with? Because if you can't work together, what is the whole point? And right. Whoever's proactive, and I feel, getting back to that early point about advocacy for everybody, if everybody, and I believe it's true, goes to the Hounds shows, goes to this, goes to everybody around here, the group gets better, because everybody's getting smarter from everybody and from everywhere else. as opposed to being captive. And, you know, I always tell people this is not a place to talk, to teach, it's a place to talk, right? And that's what's important, because people don't want fingers pointed at them, don't want to be told, here's what you have to do, because there are no absolutes. Everything's conditional, everything's relative. But with that said, let's recognize these great people. I lost a few when I had to reconnect, but they filled up fast. Linda and Aharon, and that's great being friends. Friends are an advocate in itself. Don't be alone. If you got an important thing to say, share it. You know, why not? Nobody knows what they don't know. Multitasking here, tuning is I can, you know, and that's so key.
She's so busy.
And, you know, I could say the same thing about Dr. Constance. I mean,
Yeah.
so many people are juggling so many balls and doing it so well for us. They empower and inspire us, right, to follow in their footsteps, because they're telling everybody the water's fine. Couldn't agree more. Such a sore. Okay, we talked about that. Omar's here. Great show the other day. Always fun to see new shows, because you pick up little things if you're open to them from everybody. And, you know, there's 900 million people on LinkedIn. How many people could we ever talk to in a day? You know, it's huge. Ashif comes back with authenticity is key to proper and caring advocacy. Yeah, trust is the hardest thing to build, the easiest thing to lose, and it never comes back. You know, I had a gentleman who actually never got past 11th grade. The best he could do was a union truck driver. Ended up winning the Congressional Medal of Honor, which is the highest medal you could get as a citizen. And he ended up getting into something that made just a fortune. But he always told me, Don, he says, everybody comes to me, I start them out at the penthouse. And once they disrespect me, they go to the basement and they got to work their way back up, you know? And it's so true, right? And especially during challenging times, who's there for you? You know, when the parade stops, who's left? Thanks. I'm sure hoping my new phone will be much better. The phone has issues. You know, technology should take care of technology after a while. You know, Dennis is here. Dennis is our rhymer. Agree, sharing, and Carrie does help and makes can impact. Remember to contact. Kelly just, love that, Harvey. You know, and love is where it's at. You know, happiness. I mean, that should be the measure at the end of the day. Am I happy? Am I loved? Am I loving? Right? If you're on that path, you can't help but be an eagle and fly. And actually, there's been some really cool eagle sightings around here, and a lot of golden hawks. Just a beautiful time of year. Dennis says it's like a runway, but please don't run away. Paul's here. Paul's everywhere. I always wonder how many Pauls are there. Grateful to be here to support you. I love the topic today of advocate, and more people need to be their own advocate. I can't tell you how many people Paul's introduced me to, how many shows Paul supported, you know, and that stuff, you know, may not get direct measure, but it's there. You're building goodwill. You know, everybody sees who comes out for them. And that's why I try to go as many shows as I can. Steven says, I enjoy commenting. It's my conduit for meeting people, conversing and strengthening relationships much better than I can do writing posts. I scratch my head when people give you flat responses when you clearly put in effort to communicate thoughtful. That's a category where people sort themselves, right? Somebody could say good posts and somebody could actually show they read it. Jody Lamb, great advice. No one has a roadmap to how to do this. Advocacy is the foundation of collaboration and growth. Your enthusiasm is infectious, and it is wonderful to watch you fly and see you teach others. Well, Harvey's definitely a full-throated advocate. When he says something, he thinks about something. Saya's here.
Yeah, he is.
See ya.
Yeah, I spent 9 months with watching this journey of hers, man. So yeah, hell yeah, Harvey is an insightful guy. Yeah, dude, watching her growth and transformation and coachability, it's been fun. I mean, it really has. That's what it's about. That it's not judgery. It's not, oh, I got to do this job. It's fun, man. When you see other people killing it, she's about to beat me on metrics. How fun is that? Like, you know, like, well, why should I hire y'all? Because we make people better than us, but that's what you want. Oh my gosh, that's the hallmark.
Absolutely, because you want people running faster than you to make you run faster, right? Give you something.
That's a coach. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what Michael's done for me. I mean, the explosion of growth that we've seen on LinkedIn, the transformation of how I have been engaging on LinkedIn, it's all been by his coaching. And then support with people like Sia and Raquel and all these people who have just help in this transformation, and to support them in their mission has been my honor and my privilege, because they're growing too. So as Sia says, and I'm probably going to misquote her, but when all boats rise together with the tide. And so why not join on with that effort? Because when we all are growing and when we all are succeeding, that's an infectious environment to be in. And we all want to advocate for each other's success. And it's natural, it's real, it's not forced, it's really genuine connections. And I've invited Michael into my home, his wife, we've had Sia, we've had Raquel, we've had many hounds just show up for Jody's World here at my home. And just to be able to make those connections from LinkedIn was never something that even crossed my mind. I thought I was going on LinkedIn just to talk about structured settlements. I never thought I would build friendships that have gotten me through some of the darkest times in my life. And they're still around. I didn't scare them off, because, you connect with real people, you do real work with them. It's not superficial, it's genuine, it's authentic. And I think that that's what comes through in our communications and supporting each other's posts is we genuinely like each other, interested in each other, and support.
Yeah, you capsulize it so well. And, I just got off an Audible, but it 100% applies to LinkedIn and LinkedIn Live. The name of the book was What's in It for Them? And if your focus is what's in it for them, it'll give you an opportunity to be seen faster than the people who come up with what's in it for me. And advocacy is an investment, right? You decide to invest in people. And I think, I know Mike as well as myself are gratified when people come up and say, if it wasn't for you, but it really comes down to if it wasn't for us. This is probably 300 shows in a row every day for 10 months, right? Haven't missed a show, an hour a day. I could never have been what I'm becoming without everybody being the mirror, being the feedback, telling you, hey, go over to the right a little, move to the left a little bit, like a spotter. And when everybody's looking out for you. And even it was so funny in the last couple of days, when you're doing this every day and you got 7 days and you're matching people, you forget sometimes this person isn't going to be there. But it was funny, as soon as you make that, let's say, mishap, 3 people tell you, hey, this is what I saw, which means, gosh, they're really reading detail and this really matters to them. So, I think that's the reward. And eventually good people want to be with other good people, right? What you do is secondary to who you are, because everybody's seeing you, Jody. They're seeing you, Mike. They're seeing me. You can't live a lie like this for 10 months if it ain't for real. And, people want to be with people that make them a little bit better for being with them. And, that opens the door to, okay, now I'll share it. To Jody's point, which was so incredible, is once you tell your story, it's out. And if no one's walked away, you're in, right? And then after that, you don't have to hide. You don't have to feel like, what if? And, and that's the way it should be. Round pegs should be in round holes and square pegs should be in square pegs, or whatever it is. And that's the same thing here. But the other beautiful thing that I've noticed is that you get to know people one day at a time, one morsel at a time. No one has to say, hey, you want to get married? We haven't dated yet. What are we going to do together? Because that buys vowels before you have to solve the puzzle. And that way you don't make as many mistakes as to overcommitment. Too many people say, hey, if you don't do it now, it's never going to happen. Well, then it never should happen, because if it's not good enough to be around another day, it's not good enough for today. And it's just sharing your viewpoint, because sometimes you get in a loop that you can't get rid of, right? And until you open it up and people, and here's the best thing, and it came up about a week ago and everybody's commenting, is the feel, felt, found principle, which is, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. And then I found out this, right? I dropped a bowling ball on my foot, hurt like hell, just like it's hurting for you, but every day got a little bit better, right? And when you meet people where they are, and they know you are where they have been or are there now, versus, hey, why'd you drop that, clumsy? Because people are used to, you should have known better. I mean, it's always after the fact, versus, hey, forget about it. You're okay. I'm okay. We're going to be okay because we're going to be together, and so many people just need a lift, a temporary, hey, I'm in a ditch. Can you give me a push? And let's get back to audience. That's why this is the fastest hour on LinkedIn. Resharing, see the light in each other, be the light for each other. So true. And it's comments like that, that make such a difference. Paul's here. Paul is, can't get enough. This is so great. It's like Woodstock 2023.
Talking about lights, you got Sia with her brilliant Beam Media and all the work that she does with podcasting and supporting people getting their voices out. Like you said, the LinkedIn Live is a distinguishable characteristic. It helps you stand out. So all the work that she does behind the scenes, she's like a master of many hats and makes things look amazing. So I'm delighted that she's here.
Well, we all are. And, having third-party validation like we're doing today for each other is the best validation, because that's how you're going to get business, is through referral, through validation. It's not going to, I've had people come and they want to sell a book. There's only 20 people here. Maybe they'll sell 2 books. Is that worth sacrificing the real you? Because in a sense, it's almost as if, and it's so superior, it takes 20, from something on type, on paper, or on a profile is so superficial and can be so challenging. But when people actually see you laugh, see you have some fun, because that, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Some people are like elevator buttons. Some take you up, some take you down. Where you're going is at the direction you want to go with the people you want to go with. And, people have never had as much free choice to adopt a family overnight that will accept you overnight. And all of a sudden you're in the swim, and I think we're turning a lot of somebodies who started to believe they were nobodies back to somebodies again, because they're playing to an audience that loves them and supports them and roots them on, because, and it's selfishly unselfish, with the thought that, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. That gets a lot of people motivated. Hey, they were here a month after I came here. Didn't seem too impressive, but boy, they connected. And it's really self-actualization that takes place here, reinvention. You put on new clothes every day. You try new menus every day. You're ready to roll. What is it, Jody?
Oh my gosh, you talk about reinvention, and that's totally what Mike did for me last year. I was ready to quit LinkedIn. I was spinning my wheels. I wasn't getting anywhere. I was frustrated. And to Harvey Tuck's point, he says, it only takes one connection to change your life. Let's think about it like this. It only takes one community to change your life. And here are 2 that have changed mine. And Harvey, that is so on point, because if it wasn't for the Hounds of Business and Michael Asherbrander and all the other hounds, I would have lost momentum. I would have lost encouragement. I would have given up. I don't think I would be here again, here today, if not for his encouragement, pushing me outside of my own comfort zone. I'd never been on a podcast before him. And he saw something in me that I'm starting to see myself, and stepping into that feels amazing. But I wouldn't be here without him, his coaching, but the entire Hounds Community group and the Hour of Empowerment. You know, these communities are really lifting people up, and it's not always self-serving. It's the people that have been there and have already learned these lessons, reaching back to help other people climb and help other people get through their difficult challenges. That's what the community does for you. That's what family does for you. That's what friendships, and those are foundational. But that's where your introductions come from. You get to know people. You want to help them. You want to support them because they do good things, and it's less about yourself and about other people. But those two communities, I think Harvey's nailed it again. Thank you for those comments.
Well, you know, I think you nailed it. And what's so remarkable of what you said is it's not that remarkable in what we hear. I mean, there's so many people who said the same thing, you know, until I found Mike, until I found this show. And all of a sudden, they found themselves again, a better self. And you're actually going from a family you never had a choice about, that you were born into,
So when
right?
we
That you've
choose.
grown up with or from, to a family that you can really align with in the moment, where you need, what you need, and who you need. And you know, there's so many good people who never get recognition. There's so many people get lost in the crowd, get minimized, marginalized, because their voice gets stifled and gets, you know, excluded. So
Or
when you
bullied.
can, what's that?
Or bullied.
What-
I have no. I've got bullied with my first show or the second. You know, when I came on with Trusted Friends and they took my lunch money over virtual land. Yeah, yeah. So it's not even just neutral or self doubt. It's sometimes you just got your butt handed to you by mean, nasty people or people who, you know, their whole mantra is machismo and all that. And again, if that's what you want to do, Penguin, go ahead. But like that's what we're anti. Like that's just not our style. And we're not. Again, I keep things positive. Uh, but I'm gonna spoil it real quick because I've been quiet for 12 minutes, dude.
No,
That
go
is a
ahead. You
world
really
record.
have.
I'm so proud of myself, Donald. Wow, I love it. But again, two things. First of all, the secret. I'm gonna spoil your secret because you helped me with this. I tell you, I give you full credit. Instead of advertising my live stream, what I realized and saw through your live stream was that people do business in the comments, and a lot of people don't get that. It's worth several viral posts if you're doing it right. And I see the people in the chat; they figure this out, right? So people are doing mega business in the chat, getting to know each other, taking it off, you know, helping each other in their profiles. That's the secret, all right, that I've discovered. So I just spoiled it for the people here. That's why y'all to show up and bring more people here. They get a lot of free good stuff from us, man. So number two, you know what? They expect, and you said this earlier, they expect you and I to talk about these things. They expect us to say this or that we're okay and good people. What they don't expect is this big old cheerleading section that you just heard from Jody that's echoed by Kelly and Harvey for all of us. And that's why I like the blending here. It's almost getting hard to tell. Like he said, hounds of empowerment. Pretty much, because I can't even tell who the hell is a hound and who's a Cohen, and who cares? Look, hey, there's not a prison. There's no door on this. Join all of us because we're all pretty much the daggum same. We just have different avenues. And I look at it like a buffet. Have all, have none, have some, come back later. We don't care. That's the whole. That's why me and you are making things happen because we don't have ego in this, and it makes advocacy, being an advocate for ourselves and others, so much easier when you're seriously focused on the well-being of someone else. And I don't worry about what am I going to get out of helping Jody. That is goofy. In fact, I would argue if I thought that going into this, I wouldn't be where I'm at, and I would have cut off the spoiling that happens to me daily from all these people that gave me the opportunity to be a small part of their journey. So it's not fluff, it's not feel good. I'm telling you, I'm not homeless, and neither are you, because these principles work, and you don't have to do all this, you know, macho man stuff anymore. You can just be a good person, put it out there, let yourself your dirty laundry, we don't want to throw it everywhere in everybody's face. But when we have it, you don't have to hide it. We're going to help you through it because you helped me through it. I'll help you through it. Iron sharpens iron, man. That's all I got on it.
I think that's perfect. I mean, it's all perfect because what we're saying is universally true. It's been around, it's evergreen. There's nothing that's going to be dated here. And I agree. What we need to do is build more doors and wider doors, not better locks on the doors, right? Because just like universities, right, they enroll and they graduate and a new group comes in. Some go on to advanced learning. But the key is when people get what they need, they should go to work with it, right? Once you achieve that, but why not be that? There's three levels of advancement. One is learning, one is teaching, but the ultimate one is teaching how to teach, right? And if you can get more people, going, they remember where they started with who they started with. And I think, Mike is going to get praise for a long time, but that's not what it's about, because this is too big of a game that no one can play by themselves or should. Everybody should look at everybody as a spice, as something that can add or complement to what their main dish is or what their main objective is, and have a cooking get together. Collaboration is key. Mike touches on it so well. When you got 49 people shooting their best stuff into the show, look at the combinations and how that can grow. But before I turn it back, I've got to recognize these people, because I know how important it is to be heard and be seen. So even if you're commenting, there's a benefit to it. Good morning. Rita's here on Wednesdays. Always make a Wednesday word for Rita. This week it's wild. Paul, it reminds me, I journey trained with elite mentors for the past year and a half. So many people care about. And for me, it's the relationships and connections I've built with them. They are now my greatest champions. And I can. And another really good honor is duplicating through others. People learn how to do based on what you do and how you model, right? And that's so
Like
important.
kids. Yeah, just like your kids, man. They see what you do, not what you say.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. For
Well,
sure.
parents.
Harvey says it only takes one connection to change your life. Harvey says, Jody, I like that, a master of many hats. It's like a TV show. Dean's just a great guy. I love about Dean and so many of these people, they got beautiful stories that make them beautiful people. And everybody's story is valuable, and it should be respected and appreciated for being their story and their ability to share it. True advocacy is a passionate commitment to fostering freedom, prosperity, consciousness, love, respect. I mean, these are tremendous words. Can make a show out of each one of them, and a sense of Earth family united as one. So with that, Jody, what are you thinking? I bet your head's just buzzing with ideas.
I'm just thinking of just extreme gratitude for everybody who's shown up today, for you, Donald, for your hosting, for Michael and his help that he's given me and the support of the Hounds of Business community. I'm just incredibly honored to be here to just share part of my little journey. I'm one of those people that was screaming, trying to find a voice on LinkedIn, and no one was hearing me before. And, just learning from other people and their journey and, rising together. We just are all part of a community where we continue to lift each other up. And I feel incredibly blessed and grateful to be included today and, continued our presence and supporting each other on LinkedIn. We never outgrow the opportunity to be kind to people and to support people. And doing that in social media is as important today as it was when we were back in school and practicing our kindergarten skills, as Mike would say. But, just do right by people. Do as you would, the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. We want to be able to support each other. And I feel nothing but that in this community with these comments that are in today and just the experience that I've had on LinkedIn. I think that we're going to all continue to grow. And whether you're a wounded bird, you get taken in by your community, and they help you grow. They help you heal physically, mentally, financially. Those resources are all out here. We just need to connect and be genuine and not expect instant results. This isn't, I'm going to eat a salad, so I'm going to lose 20 pounds. This is work. You have to show up every day. You have to be consistent. You have to be authentic, and you have to be genuine. Otherwise, it's very easy to see through anyone who's not. And I feel incredibly honored to be here around the communities that continue to lift me up, and hopefully that I can help support in return.
Well, I want to just add to that. That's, everything you say is really worth hearing. But this wouldn't have happened if Mike wouldn't have sent your name to me and says, I think Jody'd be great on the show. And then I came back and I said, well, why don't we do Mike and Jody? If it's great for one, and that's the thing is, someone gives you a piece of cake and you add some whipped cream, and the next person adds a cherry to it, and someone puts nuts on it, and everybody.
The sprinkles.
Yeah. And it becomes a celebration before it starts, and it's inclusiveness, it's invitingness. It's like, hey, if it's good enough for them, let's have a crowd. Have you ever had too many wonderful people in your house?
Never.
Never, right? If the best people in the world could show up for you. And what's nice about it, that's not possible physically, but it's possible through a show like this, through the Hounds. Hey, we're having a party with 60 people, and these people are well conditioned. As soon as the starting gate opens, everybody's shooting their, what do I need to know today? And little things done right over time compound. You don't have to take a gulp today. You could take a sip and take another sip tomorrow. Take a sip at Mike's place. This is really the buffet. And what are you in the mood for, right? You never have one restaurant. You never have one TV show. You may have a favorite, but today I'm into Westerns. Tomorrow I'm into comedy, whatever it is. Know the people who can support you in that. And the bigger theme that we always have, if you can't do it, could we do it? Right? And one extra, there was a gentleman who wrote a pretty interesting book, and he said the one thing that's better than the golden rule is the platinum rule, which is do unto others as they want done unto themselves, right? As opposed to what you would want done unto yourself, because you could say, I love strawberry ice cream, everybody's getting strawberry, right? Versus, hey, take an order, right? It doesn't matter, you want vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, it's all good. And I think when people put themselves second, they actually put themselves next, right? Instead of last. And too many people are used to transactional. Am I going to get hurt? Am I going to get taken advantage of? And most of the time is safety, not opportunity. People will fight like hell to keep what they got and do nothing to get more. They say fear of loss is a bigger motivator than greed, right? Someone takes your car away, that ain't going to happen. Someone says, I can show you how to buy a much nicer car. You just got to do something. That's the challenge. And, if you have something that's bigger than yourself, that is more important than yourself, nothing gets in your way. I saw people speak. I'll never forget this Vietnam vet came on the stage in a wheelchair, no legs. And you just from the beginning thought, what's going on here? And he mentioned that he was in, mine blew his legs off, came back, dedicated himself to service if he would be saved. And since then, he's got 4 beautiful boys, hunts, fishes, speaks all over the place. And his last sentence was, how do you stop a man who won't quit? Right? And there wasn't a dry eye in the house, because everybody was like, what's my excuse? Right? Well, why couldn't I just do something I was supposed to do yesterday? And that's self-reflection, and knowing you're not alone, knowing there's people who've gone through the same thing or worse than you have and will. So getting that lifeboat ready, right? Knowing that, hey, I got 40 people that if I hit the skids, there's going to be people out there trying to get me up, at least lift me up. And that's more security than can be in a bank account, right? Because money comes and goes, but friendships, and I believe in the power of people. I believe in the goodness of people. It just hasn't been exploited in a good way. It's been exploited in a bad way. And if we can be the people, and it works, you're a prime example, Jody, of it working. Kelly, I can, Gretchen, I can name hundreds of people that I'm so fortunate that they come through. And what's interesting, they come, they go, they come back, and that's great, right? It's a good flow to it. And what's so encouraging is new names, new faces never stop. So, Mike, it's been another 12 minutes since you talked.
Miracle, man. Hey, Dean LeBay, it was that guy for me recently. Dean LeBay. So he comes along, and I'm starting to get a little pity party because it doesn't diminish other people's tragedy if it's bigger than yours. Doesn't diminish that you have a problem. It doesn't mean you should get over it, not worry about it. I don't believe in that. But I started getting a little bit little too in my own feels, right? So Dean comes along, and I'm like, yeah, same thing you said. How could I? I'm, hey, I can do this, right? Because he's looking over there going, you can do this. Yeah, in light of what he shared, absolutely, man. So I know we're closing because it's the hour. It's not like my show where it goes on forever, like the damn Mickey Mouse song, right? But yeah, hey, real quick, because dude, you set them up, and I can hit them out of the park. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna go there. First of all, Jody has been extremely modest. So it's interesting because I want other people here because I see some folks in here who are in the same position. So she's grown, good for her. But now what is she doing? A lot of people in her industry and people that work align with her industry, right? That are kind of on the outskirts and partner potentials. Um, they're not on LinkedIn because they don't know if it's beneficial. In fact, I would argue that a lot of them would lose business or time or money trying to figure it out over the course of time. Which brings me to my next point. If you heard all the winners in the chat, you and her, the common theme here is coaches. Professionals have coaches. Professionals, they have multiple coaches. They graduate. It's amateurs like myself back in the day that think I can do it all myself. That's ridiculous, man. I wasted so many years thinking that. So I'm really applaud Jody's World. Be looking at her profile, follow, and ring the bell because she is now going outside, offline too. This is all up in finding people in her, attorneys and people in claims and people who could benefit. They just don't know how. And how amazing is it? So now she's doing it, but now she's grabbing somebody who popped up out of nowhere going, what in the world do I do here? Why am I here? She can give them a reason why. She can help them uh, share their value, teach them the ropes, teach them the etiquette, introduce them to people. And honestly, I know she's going to blush, but I think she could be the person to really bring her industry and what she does to the spotlight of LinkedIn and other social. I absolutely believe that. So I think again, we're talking about advocacy. That everybody who doesn't want to be seen and heard and do more business. I mean, by God. So last thing, no expiration date on the stuff we're talking about because what we're talking about is soft skills, kindergarten, evergreen, being a good damn human being. Right? There's no expiration date on that stuff. There could be different tactics, and again, just like the whole AI argument it's not the tool that bothers me. It's the direction and the reason why you're going about it. That's what matters most. You'll use the tool the right way, right? I mean, I can use I could use a hammer to fix something and benefit, make a handicap ramp, or I can throw it at somebody and really get in big trouble all across the board. It's not the tool; it's the what the hell you're doing with. So, yeah, I had to get redneck at least at the last minute, man. Held it in, but yeah, honestly, I appreciate you, all that you do and stand for, man. I think it's fantastic. I couldn't be happier. And honestly, the only thing, if anybody heard anything I said, the crap I went through to do this, I had no idea what I was doing. I just couldn't give up. I wanted to be surrounded by good people. So I went through meeting after meeting, just awful, awful. And I'm here to tell you, even little successes or big successes, you won't remember the crap you're going through. You feel like, oh my God, this is all my life will be rejection or pain or whatever. And I'm telling you, that's not the case. You won't even remember it. So take heart, celebrate the small wins because they are not just small wins, man. They compound, they add up. So that's what the Hounds is about. Thursday, 1 p.m., shameless plug. That's what I'm looking for. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to get more hounds in the door faster. Uh, all boats rise. We're not just hanging around singing kumbaya. We're doing work, but we're doing it in a positive way, a real way, a practical way. And again, not the whole hardcore way. That's not our way. So Donald, can appreciate you giving us this platform, man, giving us this opportunity, and the people in here. I'm going to go back after this and comment my tail off, because these are some amazing people. I don't even know all of them. Half of them I don't even know. It's amazing. So you're the man. Anything you need,
Well,
I'll be in contact with you. We'll do
well,
some more.
I just love what you're doing, Mike. I can't be more impressed with Jody. I just talked to her for the first time a couple days ago, and I just knew the camera would be really kind to her. And sometimes that really works out well, that you actually come through the screen. And I think we're all confident and mature enough to know that all you have to do is get to know everybody and us a little bit better, right? As much as you need. If it's just a call to say, hey, I heard a point that you mentioned, I'd like to elaborate on that. And why not be the one who brings as much value to the party as you can, especially if it's the first time, because people remember who bought the cheap potato salad and who bought the beautiful chocolate cake, and for a couple bucks, you don't want to be looked at like cheap potato salad. So that's what
I don't bring anything. I bring
I'm going to
jokes.
bring chocolate cake going forward. Duly noted.
Yeah, well, maybe next time we'll celebrate with some. But I want to thank everybody. I respect top of the hour. I'm sorry I couldn't have as many comments as I want. Just want to recognize Nicole. She's going to be on Saturday with Leslie Flowers. So really mixing it up with all kinds of different complimentary, different people. And the story is everything. They say, facts tell, stories sell. Everybody wants to hear your story. No one really cares about the numbers until they get to know you. And the final thing I'll say is no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. So put the caring in first, the knowing in second, and give people credit for being smarter than you usually give them credit for, because they use words and see words maybe differently than you. Right. And once you understand that, now you don't have to guess without solving the puzzle without some vowels. And, show there's something to humility. There's something to modesty that goes so far into building bridges versus judgment. That's why I hate when everybody starts pointing their finger at the video, because, it's almost like a lion tamer at that point. But I can't thank you enough. All of you have made my life so much better for being in it. I can't wait to come back tomorrow. And that's going to be an outstanding show. Tuesday, I don't remember who we have because I'm mixed up between 7 days a week and all these different people. But it's going to be a great show. Actually, it's going to be Rita Wirtz and Beverly Glazer, who's just an outstanding couple ladies who have done so much. And, it's nice to get a mix of, wiser, ambitious, different intangibles that people bring to the party to bring the energy. So thank you again. Thank you for your time, your thought, and your interaction. And have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.